Hi, it's Jen here from MomDadCuppaKids, and we are on video 3 of our vlog series in terms of our Konmari method and how it really and truly was a life-changing experience for us. This video is all about Konmari as a family. Now, when Marie Kondo first started this whole experience, she actually didn't have kids. Now she does, and I have to tell you, it is an entirely different experience trying to do this as a family of 4, of which we are, than trying to do this on your own. There's sort of conversations, there is emotions, there is give and take, there's a lot of compromise. And so I'm going to run through this video with you and talk through what our experience was as a family, how to engage your kids, and give you some key tips in the process about how to get them connected in this whole amazing experience and life-changing of tidying up. Okay, let's check it out. And Lauren, how was your purging experience? Should we go show them? Let's go show them what you did. Why? Are you not proud of what you did? Why not? I think you should be very proud of what you did. So my daughter immediately starts off the video about not being excited about this process. It was a heave, right? It was this sort of give and take where in some ways she was right in there and completely understood sort of the fact that she hasn't played with some toys, or the fact that she had used this item for a long time. She had no problems giving that up. But there were some elements of the fact that there was a lot of sentimentality that went along with all the things she played with growing up. So I think this was a very kind of interesting experience for her. And I'll let you see kind of what details she experienced herself. Okay, so Lauren's having some fun, but we actually had her involved to do her room as well. Her keep pile.
My keep? My friends and my other friends.
And we're doing a lot of donations for Lauren. So interestingly, what we actually did when she talked about her friends is that she had some younger friends that we ultimately ended up packaging up and giving little gift bags to. First of all, though, it's really important to check with their parents to make sure that they're okay in receiving those. Because as much as this is all about sparking joy, a really big caution that Marie Kondo says is do not necessarily have your parents or other relatives that find things meaningful close by, because they will start resisting what you're getting rid of. So we wanted to make sure it was okay to give all these packages out to younger friends in advance before we actually offered that up, because that was something that we didn't want to do to our friends was, hey, by the way, we're purging and you're getting all our crap. Hi guys, it's day 3 on our Konmari adventure, long weekend, purging, cleaning, all that kind of stuff. We actually took the afternoon and the evening off overnight yesterday to go down to the farm and visit some family, and my gosh, sitting in a field of sunflowers and apple trees just really causes you to reflect on the importance of what's actually important versus what you're keeping hold to. So it actually we came back with a really solid idea of, let's just get this done, because really it's the simple things in life that are most special to us. So we got back around 1 o'clock and jumped in to do Lauren's room. You know, it's a really good point that Marie Kondo has, and that says, she says, do it by category, not by location. The one mistake I made with Lauren is that we did her her bedroom, and then we went downstairs and did her toys downstairs. It would have been hard to put them all together at the same time, but in some ways it would have been a lot simpler, because I think I would have gotten rid of even more stuff. But there's some cool things that we did end up doing, which is in getting rid of her whole room was completely loaded with stuff. And I'm going to give you a little bit to her. So it's a bit chaotic, but you'll see that what we did is by category, we actually sorted all of her baskets. You'll see down there. So this was a real key tip that we started doing, is that within each one of her baskets that we were organizing, we actually started even categorizing that. So it would literally be all things Littlest Pet Shop went into the exact same basket. All things American Girl went into one specific place. So we started sort of culminating, and then we had one miscellaneous basket that had all of the things, but tea sets and everything to do with having a tea set or a play date with tea, you know, having afternoon tea, all went together. So the feather boas were in with the tea sets because that made sense to us, because you can just grab that one basket out. So organizing by category made a big difference for us as well when it came to toys. We've got a Littlest Pet Shop basket, a Shopkins, a Barbie, and what else do we have? Oh, tea sets and costumes and the like. We brought a couple of her bigger Littlest Pet Shop stuff down here, and the one thing I really love are Pottery Barn baskets for putting all her stuffies in. I have to say that, you know, I wasn't about to go through her toys and clean them the way the Konmari method is, but we did, you know, successfully do underwears and, you know, all her shirts. The one thing that that gave us actually was then room at the bottom, and so because of that we were able to include the rest of her, some of her toys here. We still do this to this day in the terms of that Lauren has such fewer items than she used to, that we still use the base of her drawers and dresser sets for additional toys. That to me helps get rid of everything. Everything becomes a space that has storage for it versus just leaving it out, because the one thing that we can't stand is having clutter around on your dressers and stuff like that. So all of her drawers that were not used for clothes are also used for toys, art supplies, and what have you, actually in her room. The other thing that was super kind of neat is that by doing so, we actually alleviated a lot of room down below on her trundle bed, so that suddenly turned into, this now has become an American Girl doll entire area. So we've got her American Girl stuff here, we've got the clothes, we've got the accessories, and then we're even able to get a bunch of her actual littlest pet shops and stuff in drawers instead of about 7 of them hanging outside. So I'm exhausted in that part, because fighting with an 8-year-old about her toys, it's her birthday too, is just she thinks I'm evil. This is actually the amount of space that we now have in her closet. We have a whole bottom drawer to her bookcase. She's got all her chapter books, but she got rid of, only kept special books in terms of you know, kid books. What we started doing with that extra space that each of us had in our own bedrooms was we started bringing shoes back into our bedroom spaces that weren't necessarily collectively used for that particular season. This allowed the heave that normally happens in our front closet to have much more space and clutter-free, and we had the space in each of our closets, so it wasn't any difficulty. And that has really shifted our entire, you know, over the past 3 years, our entire perspective on, we don't need every single pair of shoes at the front hall. We don't need every single pair of shoes in the front hall closet. So it's all about kind of like, what are the shoes that we're core using in this particular season, and then letting go of the rest, or else having them in another space. And then one thing that we had been given by friends of ours, which I thought was great, is it is actually an overhanger, so it gives you an extra pull. So we've got sort of her top clothes, and then we just got space for if she gets clothes on her birthday, all that kind of stuff. So that's a kid's room in the Konmari method. Again, I would definitely say try your best to do as much category together as you can, because it makes a huge difference in how you purge. Lauren was great. She was really game on doing this. So she's even gotten rid of that. Those hooks used to be full. They now just have 2 robes. I think they had about 5 before. So we're next going to finish our son's room, go through his books, and he doesn't actually have tons of toys. He has more video games and stuff that I think we're going to leave at a later date. But we're getting there. We have all our clothes pretty much done. We have just the toys and books that we're doing for the kids. And then we've got to still hit up our books today, and I'll keep you posted on how much time that took. All right, keeping you tuned in. Bye. Okay, so this is all about Konmaring with kids. Here is what we learned. Is you got to keep them focused, and you have to have a particular time limit. It's kind of a give and take. First we do this, and then you do this. Getting kids maintained on the idea of organization and cleanliness is like pulling teeth. So what we did is we turned it into a game. We did the cleanse, we did the purge, keep and go. Then we let them go and have some fun. We kind of got rid of the stuff that had to go and be donated and stuff that we had agreed on. And then we had them come back about being responsible and autonomous about where they wanted their clothes and their toys to be. So with the bottom drawer pieces and stuff like that, we kind of made that suggestion and had that organized. But when it came to all the sushi rolls and how your dresser and your closet is going to look, we made the kids responsible for that, because ultimately it's, you know, we're trying to build life skills for them to be good humans. And we think it's important for them to feel responsible for their items. So this was a great process, not only in terms of us getting rid of stuff, but it was a great learning process for the kids, both in how to take care of and be responsible for your own items, the amount and expense that goes into buying toys and stuff like that you don't necessarily need, and then ultimately how to give back when in terms of community and making sure that everything is paid forward and donated. So it was a really effective way to get them doing it. And again, to this day, we just give them the laundry. It's easy because they know how to sushi roll. we give it to them to have at her, and it's a much easier reprieve to us when it comes to getting kids in responsibility. So stay tuned for our next video. This is actually 2 weeks later what ended up happening, kind of what are the key things we learned at that end of that process, and then stay tuned for the very, very final reveal on how this actually made a full life change for us in our entire experience as a family. At first I kind of wanted to buy more stuff to fill the space, and now I just realized that it actually just allows me to kind of have a freedom that I haven't had in a really long period of time.